Okay, we're going to find this queen, and she is on this frame here. She is right there. And we are going to take that queen and put it in our comb honey hive. And we have this contraption made by Donnelly Enterprises. And it's meant for oxalic acid, another way to treat oxalic acid, if you can read the little cover there. But we're just going to use this cage to hold the queen and put her in here for 4 days, and then we'll just release her. And the cover slides off here, and so we just got to get her, coax her into that cage, maybe with a few workers. I think we may have a finger, load her with the finger, I think. Let's try to get some workers in there, Tom, with her. There you go, just shovel some in. Just coax a few in there. They will feed her. The other bees are going to feed her through the screen, but we'll just get some attendants in there with her also.
Make her feel warm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's plenty, I think. Here's our little cap. We're going to put a little duct tape on there because it's a little, I'm afraid that they could possibly escape there. And we'll put some duct tape on there. We're going to put a rubber band around it, around a frame in that hive, and that's how we're going to hold it up. We just have to make sure on one side here they have to have enough room so that the other bees can get on here so they can get her scent and feed her and everything. And I think that's what we're going to do right now. We'll go through this colony. We're going to look for all the swarm cells. Last time, today's day 10, and we shouldn't see much for swarm cells. So let's go through it, and I'll talk about it again there. This is the hive next to the one we're going into. The bees are washboarding. If you look at them closely, they aren't going anywhere. They're just moving, rocking kind of back and forth and back and forth. That's called washboarding. Nobody knows what it means, and hives will do it occasionally, and it's ironic, or it's funny, they aren't doing it at the entrance, they're just on the side of the hive doing it for some reason. But that's called washboarding. All right, we're going to go into our hive here, and Tom has put grass in the entrance of his, in the snout of his smoker. All right, so we're going in there and comb honey. We're going to go through, take the supers off again, and then we're going to go through and check every frame again for swarm cells or supersedure cells, emergency queen cells, whatever you want to call them, queen cells. And once we do that, then we're going to introduce the queen, and that will be, and then close them up, and that will be our highlight today. And we'll just see how we're doing on this comb honey as we go. Hard to tell. I don't know how our nectar flow is going. I was at the farmer's market today, and I saw a few honeybees were at the market. And when they do that kind of thing, it can mean that the nectar flow is kind of over with because they're looking for some food. But that was in a city. So, okay, now our top Ross round, they really have not done much of anything with that. And this one here, I mean, they've done a little bit, but they really haven't done a lot. You know, unless you got a nectar flow. I mean, this thing could be a big, huge flop for all we know because of the, we don't know how intense the nectar flow is right now, but we will see. There's a lot of nectar, I know, in the brood box here. There's a lot of nectar, so we're just going to go through here and look, and they'll take and move that nectar up as the queen, once the queen gets in there. But bear with me. I'm going to get my camera resituated here. All right, well, we're going to start looking at these frames now. We're both going to work on it just to kind of get through it so we aren't boring all of the YouTubers out there as we go through these. Be careful not to Blocked the camera shot. Tom loosened up those frames. That's a great help. This style of hive tool is kind of nice because you're going off of a fulcrum and you're not really, when you lift up just the frame with your hive tool like I normally do, sometimes the hive can fall apart or you pull nails apart and everything. That's always that possibility. So we're going to go through them. Now they won't, at today now they cannot, the bees cannot make a queen after 10 full days. They no longer can make queens at all. They no longer have viable brood to make a queen. And so the queen they're going to get will be much appreciated. There's some nice queen cells on that one. There we go. I got some queen cells here, and like I say, we just pinch them. We just pinch them. Make sure a queen isn't developed. It shouldn't be, but we're just going with cautious, being cautious. And just making sure nothing there's nothing here that could be turned into a queen. We even take out the queen cups. They make queen cups and there's nothing there, but we're just being careful. Queen we're putting in there, she is laying right now. She has been laying, so the bees really like the vibe of a laying queen. Much easier for acceptance and everything when you have a laying queen. And now there is brood in the colony. Now see, I wasn't worried that the bee without a queen for 10 days that they don't turn to laying workers, because they won't turn to laying workers if there is brood present. And there is, we still have we have cap brood. There's still, even on this frame in this corner right here, you can see cap brood. So they will not turn to laying workers unless all of the cap brood is gone. There's no queen, and there's no queen pheromone now, and then that's when they turn to laying workers. Okay, we're gonna go grab that queen. Is that the last frame?
I already checked.
You didn't? I see you missed it. There's a cell there. Well, they're working on one. Right there. There, perfect. Now that would be a good one to put the queen on, because there's all a bunch of brood right on there. So I think we're gonna let's put the queen on that one, if you don't mind there, Tom.
All right.
And these are getting a little cranky here. It is really nice out, about 80 degrees. Like I say, day 10 of our experiment here. It's nice when you don't have to worry about killing a queen. You can just slide these frames over, and so we don't squash any bees. All right, so we have put the queen in here and some attendants. Did tape off that entrance because it doesn't sit. It was a little bit loose. So this should work really good. And whenever you use rubber bands, and you bring rubber bands to rubber band a queen on or anything on a frame or anything, always bring twice as many that you need, because I'll guarantee you all the time a rubber band will break if you just bring what you need. There's always a little mini disaster when you keep bees, and having extra rubber bands in this case will save our bacon. Nice to always try to keep the queen towards the top of the frame, because that's always the warmest part of the hive. And here, let's get those over a little bit, Tom, so they don't all of a sudden they spring over. You know, when you have that little deflection here, let's get the rubber band straight, and then it can't. All of a sudden it'll spring to one side or another, and the cage falls to the bottom. Perfect. That's perfect. Now the bees they'll feed her through the screen. And we'll come back 4 days from today and release her. So we're just going to put her in the hive. And we tried to put her on a frame with brood. It's that vibe thing again. The bees like that. So now we're going to put the other frame in. We just want to make sure there's enough bee space between that frame and this cage to make sure that the bees can feed her and touch her and everything. And then actually that looks just perfect. There's enough. Oh, the bees are walking right on past there. I'll take the camera off. We'll get a shot of that on how she looks. But I think that looks good. Okay. There's our queen cage in there, and you can see the bees are walking on the side of the cage. So they're going to have good contact with her and be able to feed her through the screen, get her pheromone odor, and pass it around, and she'll be accepted in 4 days from now. All right, well, we're going to put the queen excluder on and put this back together again, and I'm hoping now on the next time we look at that, we're going to see some better results on our supers. There's always a we're at the mercy of the nectar flow, obviously, so we'll see how this goes. Still a good population in there, bees. And whenever you do comb honey, if you do cut comb honey, you always label the frames cut comb, because if you just do it, it's perfectly all right to do 4 of them or so in the center of a medium super, for example. That's fine. But once they make them and cover them, all the frames look the same. So you really want to take a Sharpie and write cut comb on them. That's why all that writing was on them. So okay, well, that's it. That's it for today. We'll come back in 4 days, release the queen, and give you a comb honey update then. Anyways.
Thanks for watching.